We're back live tonight here on In Focus. Thanks for staying on. Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Gary van Niekerk and his deputy have taken another trip to China a few months after he got into hot water for a similar trip to the same country. The trip, which is believed to have cost about 400,000, has raised questions from opposition parties in the metro since its 2024-2025 budget is yet to be approved. Mayor van Niekerk joins us now to explain. Mayor, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. But I'll correct some things that you already stated. But let's shoot.
No problem. Let's get straight to it. I mean, 6 months ago, you were facing a similar situation. We spoke to you. We brought you here. You're back again 6 months later. It's another trip again to China, and many are questioning, firstly, the timing of it, but also they're giving us some numbers here in terms of what it is costing ratepayers. Let's start here. I mean, I'm sure there's a mayoral handbook from Salga and elsewhere that you're working with as far as taking trips internationally and so forth. One of the processes is an approval by Exco and by council. Was that obtained?
I would never do anything without any kind of official approval. So the guys at our international IGR department, they do all of that in the background. So everything is all above board. I'll never put myself in a situation where things could come back toward me. Let me just correct you what you said initially, that the budget was not approved. No, while I'm here in China, I left Gqeberha, Newzroom Mandela Bay municipality on Sunday at 12. I arrived here at 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And yesterday we were in, what's today? Today is Thursday. So Wednesday we had a council meeting, and the budget was adopted. The IDP was adopted. We appointed and approved the item for an acting city manager. All of those items, the DA supported none of them. Last week we had a council meeting. We've got the numbers, but we're trying to be inclusive of all in council. They requested some more time to have a look at the budget and to consult. We said, okay, that's fine. That was last week, Thursday. We postponed the meeting to Wednesday. We did all the homework on our side. We made sure that our MMC of Budget and Treasury, she went out and met councillors at different sectors. Then we also had our acting CFO, our acting city manager. They were hard at work since last Thursday to make sure that the opposition is also happy with the budget. Unfortunately, today when the budget was tabled by myself while sitting here in China, the DA once again did something that they've always done, which is not to approve any budget that's being tabled by the opposition, or should I rather say the opposition, which is the governing coalition of which I'm the head of. So yes, there's a whole negative connotation to my visit to China. We send emails. Our IGR team is hard at work. This is not my last international trip for the year. I'm saying it publicly again. I said it the last time. I said it during the year, during the course of the year. The officials from the government officials were there to visit us last year. They were there in December. After I became the mayor, they came in April again. So they were there two times. They were there twice. Yeah. And it's only correct that we reciprocate. I mean, they come and visit us in South Africa, in Nelson Mandela Bay. Yeah. They come with gifts. They come with promises, and they invest in our metro.
On what basis? What's the motivation? Give us a sense of your detailed itinerary. Why are you there?
Yes, I actually can see my itinerary from here. If there's one thing, look, the Chinese are very hospitable people. They go out of their way. But I know from my previous visit, I told the deputy mayor that these guys, they pick you up at 7 at your hotel and they return you at approximately 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. So our itinerary, if I can give an example of what it was like today. Today we visited the #1 hospital in, they call it the #1 hospital in Ningbo. That's a city that we're visiting here in China. And already there we spoke, and commitments were made. So much so that it was supposed to be a 2-hour visit, and we committed to going back there. We're going to take some time out of our schedule to go back to the hospital. That's a leading hospital. They've got top of the range technology. They want to assist us. They want to assist our clinics. They want to assist us with our traditional medication as well, which they use. So that was already the beginning of our trip this morning. In the afternoon, we visited the Deputy Director General of Ningbo. And in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock South African time, I joined the council meeting. That council meeting finished at about 12 midnight. And then I got the invitation to be on your show. So yes, I'm tomorrow morning at 7. They're collecting me at my hotel again, and we're going to the opening ceremony for why we are here, which is the sea forum, the harbor forum, sorry. And Ningbo is the biggest harbor in the world, the number one harbor in Asia and in the world. We are on the whole African continent. They very proudly stated that Ningbo only has one sister city in Africa, and that's Nelson Mandela Bay.
So how does this, people may ask, listening to you, then directly link to your official duties as a mayor? I mean, if you're speaking of hospitals, one could say, well, maybe that's a competence of province because local municipalities hardly build hospitals. The ports as well is not something that you directly have any control over. So what benefit would this be for the local municipality?
I'm so glad you asked that question regarding the ports and the other things that you mentioned. But remember, though, there is an overlap when it comes to this, and that's in the Constitution as well. We as a local government, we still have public health as a directorate, and we still have officials who go and look after clinics, make sure that our clinics and hospitals run efficiently. I was just at the hospital recently. So what they've asked us to do is to create that go-between, because of our sister city agreement, between ourselves, between local government and provincial government, to ensure that the metro, which I am the executive mayor of, gets more and better equipment, better services, and better training. We've agreed to exchange programs with them. The list is literally endless. I'll be unpacking my whole grocery list when I go back. I'll probably have a meeting or a press conference on Monday to unpack everything that we've done here over the last 4 days.
Yeah, and how then is by the way, because of the time zones, yes, the budget was meant to be had today, but I think you are ahead. You're saying it's on Thursday. On our side, basically, it's the 26th of June, so it would have happened today. The objection to your trip would have been yesterday. Your side is yesterday, ours is today. I'm saying on this side, it's still today, it's still Wednesday. Yeah. because of the time zones. Yeah, and
the budget was approved.
Yeah. Was the budget approved? Did you get a sign-off on it? Because the concern was that if it's not approved, then, of course, money goes back to Treasury, but also, I mean, that puts the municipality in a position where it can't carry out its work.
No. Look, there was a big fuss made about me not being in the council meeting. There's many councillors that join our council meetings virtually. In every meeting, we have councillors joining virtually. And what we did was, before we left, we made sure that we've done the homework. When we left on Sunday at 12, and even during the course of our trip, we had constant contact with our officials and our political partners as well, to ensure that the budget will gets passed, which is, like you say, on Wednesday. Let me rather just say Wednesday. And yes, the budget was passed. It's really much ado about nothing. I know there was one particular councillor, it's Lawrence. He made a big fuss about the fact that I'm going to China. But if you look at what's happened in his party, they've got 800 votes in provincially, in the Eastern Cape. it's a dying party. All they try and do is attack my character. And yeah, my dad will always used to tell me that if people attack you personally, it's because they can't attack your work ethic. And that's what I admire about the Chinese. You need to work, work, work. Look at me. I'm still up at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to be fetched at 7 o'clock. And that is the work ethic that we want to change. It's a culture that we need to change in our metro.
Yeah.
We need to be the number one at whatever it is we do. We cannot be so reliant on the motor industry only. We can't. You've seen what happened in East London recently, where 700 jobs are going to be cut, or it's being speculated that 700 jobs will be cut because of the inefficiency of the port. Mercedes-Benz South Africa says that in no uncertain terms. Come to Nelson Mandela Bay, we've got the fourth best port in the metro. But we also have Kucha. We've got our special economic zone. That is where Ningbo wants to come and invest. They're bringing all kinds of companies to come and invest in our metro. If you look at the number of investments lately in our metro, if you look at Hive, 105 billion rand. You look at Stellantis, the biggest motor group. They coming to invest 3 billion rand. Volkswagen just recently, also after having many meetings with them, they invested another 4 billion rand. You've got Aspen, who also recently in this year still invested another 4 billion rand. And these are all industries within the metro. It's my responsibility to ensure that it's those youngsters who are shooting each other, killing each other on the streets, that they get employed. That's my job. And this, like you said earlier, you say no crime is a competency of the police, but it affects my metro directly. People don't blame Bekele or whoever the Minister of Police is going to be. They blame me as the mayor for not ensuring that we've got a thriving economy, that we don't tap into our oceans economy, our marine economy. And that is what we're coming to learn here, how to exploit and how to train our youngsters to be part of this economy. And if you see what Ningbo looks like with their 9.7 million people living here, it's a thriving city. It's a first-class city, and that is the vision that we have for our metro.
Interesting that you raised the issue of the economy, because the business chamber, not wanting to comment on your trip, but really wanting to comment on the passing of the budget, saying that they are really hoping that the capital expenditure is going to be spent timeously to avoid a repetition of what we've also spoken to you about, an unspent budget having to be returned to Treasury.
Yes, I have a very good relationship with the business chamber. I don't know if you've interviewed them on your show recently, but I'd like, don't take my word for whatever I'm telling you. It's right. Interview people like the business chamber, interview National Treasury, ask them about the performance of the municipality. I'm not saying they're going to come back with an A+ scorecard. I'm saying they're going to come back and tell you the improvements in our city. We are getting it right. Like I said today in council, we've got a new acting city manager for the next 3 months that province has provided to us as support. We've requested that support. They've given us that support, and we got one of the best in the business to come and support us. Did the DA and the other parties, opposition parties, support the item? No, they did not. It's really a time to put. It's not election time. Let's put elections aside. We've got another 2 years till we go to local government elections. So I'm pretty much disappointed in what happened in council with them not supporting the budget. It was a good budget. We made extra sure that everybody gets a fair share of the budget. In terms of the spending, it's an issue you raise, and let me raise it again. It's that last year our business plans were approved very late. We got it approved in September, which meant we could only really start spending in October. But I can tell you this much: if you compare our performance now compared to last year, we've already improved on our performance of last year. We are up like 5%. It's not much, but we're doing better. If you look at the media coverage that we're receiving, one will say that no, the city is falling apart. when people like National Treasury, when we get big visitors coming from big countries, first world countries coming in, flying in, landing at our airport, which we're now looking at extending the runway to allow for international flights to be direct to our city, because we've got complaints from our Chinese community, the investors saying the amount of flights. I took 5 flights from Gqeberha to Ningbo. It took me almost 2 days to get here. But there's so much happening, and the thing about you mentioned the business chamber. Let me just say this one thing: the business chamber and the municipality have taken hands, and we've started this program of this explosion that's going to happen in this metro. We call it Nelson Mandela Bay, the Bay of Opportunity. It's the Bay of Opportunity. I've spoken to many people. Recently, a company wanted to invest 100 million rand in Cape Town, for example. So they normally look at Johannesburg and Cape Town first before they consider a metro like ours. But I tell you, after having spoken to us and evaluating our SEZ Kuga, they decided to bring the 100 million rand, invest it in the SEZ, and they've now promised to up it to R1 billion. All because of these kind of interactions that we're busy with. It's important that we have a city that thrives. Once the economy runs, once there's a boom in our economy, that is what's going to solve our problems. And we all need to work hard. We need to work. That's the culture that we need to change in our metro. That is what this administration and myself as the head of administration is all about.
Gary van Niekerk, we look forward to having you back so that we can sit and tease out those numbers and some of those big developments that you're talking about. But thank you for coming on this evening. That is the Mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro there.